But anyway, thanks for joining us. If you're not seeing this live, we appreciate you coming back and checking our videos out. Go through. We're going to try to do more on YouTube, and so if you can, be sure and look through some of our old videos on YouTube. We're going to make sure we post more stuff on YouTube, and we're going to try to get more active on YouTube. So be sure and follow us, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you can keep up with whatever we're doing. Like I said, we're going to do these on a regular basis. Today we are in AutoFX. AutoFX has been one of our sponsors for quite a while now, and we're really proud to have them on as a sponsor. So we're at their place. We're going to be going to some of our sponsors' places.
We're the one in El Reno, not the one in
We're in El Reno, Oklahoma at AutoFX. You can tell by their neon, their LED logo that's out front. If you've watched the show much, you've seen that in some of the cool boats and things that they've done. So we're out here in a minute. We're gonna have Scott come on here and talk about some things that you might want to put on your Christmas list, and that way you can tell your wife, say, hey, you don't know what it is, but it's on a YouTube video, and just go out and see Scott, and he will tell you what I want for my Christmas present. So Art was going to be here today, but he came back yesterday afternoon with 16 deer between him and all the guys out at deer camp. They had a very successful deer camp, and his son shot a buck and a doe. One of our friends that's been on a few of the episodes, especially the snake hunting episodes. And by the way, this is Errol Rodriguez. He's one of our newest hosts. We've got to upgrade our new intro, which we're going to be doing over the Christmas break or over the holidays, and we'll have Errol on there. But he's been with us for a while now. We just haven't got him on there. But it's a little hard trying to get all of our videos done and trying to do changes to our show too at the same time. But with this coronavirus, that's kind of changed things around. I'm doing a few different things than what I normally do. It's taking up a little more of my time, but hopefully this is going to, all go back to normal at some point. So, but anyway, Art and them, Ron just had a heart attack. One that they call Widowmaker heart attack, where it's a complete blockage. Thankfully, his son was at his house, and they lived just down the road from the hospital, and he got him there in time that he survived it. And as soon as he's just now recovered from it, and first thing he wanted to do is get out and go deer hunting. So he got him a nice buck, and you'll be seeing some of the pictures on our social media. Got a buck and a doe, but needless to say, they had a heck of a deer camp, and he's got 16 deer. Art is the most prolific hunter you will ever run into. There are a lot of people who have a lot of deer hanging on their wall or a lot of mounts hanging on their wall. We're going to do a YouTube live out at Art's place sometime. It's unbelievable. He has a huge building that's just full of mounts from all around the world, and has a mountain that looks like the Cabela's mountain. We built out of stucco and chicken wire, but it looks really cool. And anyway, he not only kills these animals, but he eats them. And everything he kills, he eats pretty much. So he actually has a walk-in cooler and a full processing setup with a table and processing stuff. If you walk in, it looks like he's a meat processor, but he's not. It's just off his wild game. And last year, or it's been about a year and a half ago, I guess it was 2 summers ago, he was bit by a tick and got what's called alpha gal. And at last year's deer camp, I guess is when they figured out what it was. And he went into anaphylactic shock and just about died at deer camp. And they found out it was from eating they had hamburgers and he ate one. And it makes you have a allergic or a reaction to mammal meat. But oddly enough, he's experimented a little bit, and he's supposed to just eat like chicken, like fowl and fish, but he's found that he can eat venison. So he's killing all the deer. He's legally allowed, and he's having all of his family kill deer. And So he's stocking up because that's the meat he eats all the time. So anyway, he's always killing wild hog. Anytime my wife will hardly eat when she goes over to his place unless she brings her own meat because she never knows what it is. We were having hamburgers one time and she made the mistake of asking what kind they were, and they were bear burgers. And after that, they were good. But she likes to bring her own hot dogs now to his gatherings when he goes to cooking. Yeah. She doesn't trust what it might be.
Don't blame her.
So yeah, it was good, man. It's all good.
Well,
But anyway, Arrows are kind of our waterfowl expert. Arrow's also he is just finishing up getting his credentials to be a gunsmith. He's been doing the schooling for quite a while now, and here pretty soon you're going to be gunsmith, right?
So yep, I got all the paperwork back from ATF and the state. So after this season, I'm going to be opening my doors to the public. So you'll be able to find my Instagram page is Phoenix Gunworks. But so I'll be open from 1 February to basically 1 November. And then from 1 November to 31 January, I'll be closed for the hunting season. So because once hunting season comes around, that's all I do is hunt. So October, I'll take my last couple customers, I'll finish out the shop, clear the shop out. And then, so right now my shop is completely converted over for duck hunting and just hunting in general. So
yeah. So if you want anything done with him, make sure you do it before duck season starts or after duck season, or the service is going to be really bad. You're going to have a long wait time.
You're not going to get any service.
His priority is duck hunting. So anyway, and we're going to have him talking about some duck hunting here in just a minute. Like I said, Art was going to be on here to talk about deer hunting. And obviously they've been hammering the deer. One thing I will tell you that two things right now, this coming weekend or this coming holiday, you need to be out in the woods if you haven't got your deer because the rut is on strong and they are just being stupid. They literally had a decent buck. Art tries to kill mature deer, and he doesn't really manage it like trophy when people come out there, but he wants them to kill mature deer. So they will have some trophies out there, but if it's a kid or something like that, he'll have them shoot whatever they want, or first time hunter or something like that. But the guys that come out there on his lease regularly, they try to kill mature deer. Well, they had a really nice buck, but it was only a 2.5-year-old. And while they were out there dragging another deer off the field, it came up and ran up on the field and just stood and watched them. And they started up his ATV, drove it out into the field, and the deer just stands there and watched him. And it's smelling around, trying to smell for a doe. And the stupid thing stood out there. They could have shot it with no problem. It was only 50, 60 yards away from them, just standing in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're out there. They're completely stupid. They're chasing right now. Now is your best time to get a buck, a mature buck that normally wouldn't be out there, just like all of us, all males, they're chasing women and they're being stupid. So
I'm normally a waterfowl guy or wing shooter, pheasant, quail, dove, mainly duck and geese and crane and all of that. But 2 weekends ago, I was out with a buddy of mine. We're out hunting in some property that we have in central Oklahoma, and we're duck hunting. And he was like, "Oh, we're gonna get this case out." And he gets the case out. It's his rifle, and I'm like, "What do you think?" He goes, "Deer hunting, deer season opened up today." I'm like, "Okay." So we're sitting there working ducks, and they, for some reason, they didn't decoy. We're gonna talk about that. What early season shy ducks, and then all of a sudden he looks up and he goes, "Hey, there's a buck," and it's literally walking across the field. So he pulls up his rifle and did a 250-yard shot. Literally just rested on top of the blind, got himself a deer right there.
That's right. So no matter what you're doing out in the woods right now, make sure you have a gun handy because no telling when they're going to be completely stupid and they're seeing deer down there that they know are not their normal deer. He has some trail cams out, and the deer they're killing, I think they're their neighbor's deer running around because they've never seen these deer.
Yeah, the deer my buddy shot, so all the cameras that they have out there on this property, I hunt out there mainly for waterfowl, but I go and help them do all the land management for the deer and everything. And we've never seen this deer on camera. And so for the months that we've been going out there and land managing these deer and trying to pattern these deer and see what's even out there for mature bucks and kind of categorize everything or catalog everybody, all the deer that are out there, we never saw this deer out there. And it actually would have been a nice 10 point, but it broke its one antler off, I guess, fighting. And it broke it off right at the skull. And he's like, it's a buck. And he looked at the scope and he goes, it just looks kind of weird. And it was foggy. And he harvested his deer, and we looked and we found out that he had clean shaved it off from fighting. He had some gouge marks and some rubbing and stuff. You can see where he's been rubbing and fighting. And we're like, well, the rut's on because they're doing everything they can to get around. So he was literally walking right in the middle of this field.
Yeah, they were at deer camp, and it was dark, but there's a field down not far from their camp, and they could hear them fighting, fighting over does, right now. So like I said, deer hunting is on right now. Get out there if you can find some ammo. I don't know if you didn't get ammo before deer season. Good luck. I've gone into several stores trying to find. I didn't want to use up the ammo I had, so I thought I'll go buy some more. I haven't found any. If you find some ammo, if you would message us at Red Deer Roots, tell us where you see it. I'm looking for a 308, 223, and it's stupid right now. You just cannot find it. So, but anyway, hopefully you got ammo before deer season started, and you don't want to be wasting a lot of ammo right now because it's hard to find. Hopefully that gets better. I don't know with the way the election went. I don't know if it'll get better or not. But anyway, hopefully you've got some ammo and you're able to go deer hunting. If not, it may be a good time to take up archery. With the crossbows and all nowadays, if you don't want to actually do a bow, the crossbows that they have now are just almost like shooting a rifle at hard range, at close range. I mean, 40, 50 feet.
Weston, a good buddy of ours, the owner of Exomix, he lives up in Stillwater. He harvests some mature bucks, and he shoots with a crossbow because he does a lot of self-filming. He does a lot of filming for us. For the show and stuff, he does a lot of stuff for us. And
he just told me that he's got a video. He'll have a show here pretty soon for us of a deer hunt he did.
He hunts with a crossbow because he does a lot of self-filming. He goes, it's hard to pull back a bow and mess with a camera while you're doing yourself. So that's why he does it. But he says they're great. So, but the you can get out there and make your season a little longer too that way. Yep. And shooting a crossbow, it opens up for some younger people that can't pull back a bow yet, or older people like I've loved shooting a recurve and a long bow and my compound bow, but I'm getting where I've hurt my shoulder a couple of times and it's getting harder and harder to do. So I may switch over to doing a crossbow. But those things, if you can't find ammo, at least you can get bolts for a crossbow or arrows for your bow, and you can easily enough you can reuse them. He just mentioned the Exo Mix. Art's been trying the Exo Mix. I've sent him some bags to try. Art is a person that doesn't really believe. He's tried all the supplements or all the attractants, and he doesn't really think they work any better than corn or anything else. He texted me after the first bag of Exo Mix, going that this stuff is like crack for deer. He said it was stupid. He put some Exo Mix out, and he said, and just not hardly any time at all, he had deer coming to it, and he said he's watched them even after all the Exo Mix was gone. They keep coming to that spot and smelling around looking for it. He said he'd never seen. He's tried all the different
attractants, and they work okay, but they just they're not really that much better than core. He didn't think.
So we have some videos on it. Weston's done some how-to videos for it. You can go to buckcertified.com, look at some of the videos that he's posted on there of how to use it to get a good broadside shot. He's also done some videos on our page as well, to help you out to basically line deer up so you get a nice broadside shot or a good quartering way shot. So look on our page. Also go to buckcertified.com and
you can go to buckcertified.com and you can order XO mix there. I believe it's also on Amazon, but it's better if you go. I think it's actually cheaper if you go to his website.
It is cheaper.
And get it there. So go to Buck Certified and get your XO mix there. It truly does work. And if you've noticed on our show, we don't really promote a lot of different things like that. We don't, because we don't really feel like they work all that much better than corn. I already never did. But I have tried the XO mix and it really does work.
All of us have tried it. We've done different tests. Weston for being 25, he's a wealth of knowledge. He goes in wearing a cowbell on his pack. And I looked at him when he told me that, and I thought he was crazy. And he told me the science behind it, and he told me the research. And this guy he's just a wealth of deer knowledge.
He's put in a lot of time and research and studying deer, and
hands down that product. I will put that product up against anything. And like I said, we don't really endorse a whole lot of stuff, but that's one of the companies we do endorse because we've tested it ourselves, and it's just phenomenal. People like Art, I don't believe it. We're like, just try it. And he was like, that deer gave up his life for that XO mix, and I harvested that deer. So we're changing I'm going to call it the culture of people or the belief of people for a product. It's got to work. So
then also duck season, early season, man, in Oklahoma, you just never know what's going to be. I know on opening weekend, everybody was ecstatic because we had that cold front come in, and I saw a lot of birds. I was working down around Lawton, and there were some ponds down. I was driving by. I was seeing a lot of birds, but typical early Oklahoma. I mean, I literally had people sending me pictures. If you know the Red Root Show, one thing that we're kind of known for is, at least Errol doesn't get in this part, but Art and I love chasing snakes.
I'm out.
And so I get these texts of a picture of a snake. Want to know what kind it was? I got a picture of a snake the other day. It was sitting on a tree line. It was a Midland water snake, and I wouldn't have thought it would have been out, but they're pretty cold hardy, and that thing is out. And which should be a reminder, as we hit some of these warm days, people have this misconception when you walk around deer hunting. Keep in mind, if you're in an area where rattlesnakes are known to be, they could be out right now. If you've got some 70-degree days, they don't actually hibernate. They don't go into the den and then stay there. The temperature pushes them into the den or brings them out. So if you get a few days of 70-degree weather like we had in the last week, they will be back out. And even though you may see, I saw a video last year, somebody down at the Blue River, and there was a pygmy rattler that was crawling across a little bit of ice, going across a little piece of the river. And, they were like, how can this be? And that what they didn't realize is we'd had some warm days, and they warmed up enough that they got out. And now they even though the ground is still cold, they're out there absorbing that sun and staying warm, and they will be out and they will bite. So, if you've got in a place where they're going to be around their den, so if you know where a snake den is, you want to stay away from that area. They're not going to go very far from there. So they're going to be concentrated close to their den. So, but if you're going in there and it's known for snakes and you don't know where the dens are, you may want to wear some snake boots, or just, just keep an eye out, and if you're walking in the dark and you got a pop-up blind, look around inside it, because those things heat up really warm during a bright sunny day, and it'll be extra warm in there, and that will draw a snake right into it. So I've heard stories of people, more during turkey season than this time of year, but it can happen this time of year, getting into their blind, and as it warmed up a little bit, something started moving around. It's a snake that's moved in there. Got cold during the night, but it come in there because of the warmth. As it starts warming back up, they start getting very active again. And, you want to keep an eye out for that. Now, as we said, we don't promote a lot of products, but another one that we have found that has really been great. I used it in the blind already for deer hunting, and I know Errol's used it in the blind, and I used it for filming. It's the Decoy Dog show, but it's these Chamas chairs. And Ariel, I had a video I was going to pull up to show, but we weren't able to use the program. But these Chamas chairs, I'll be putting a video on Facebook. Check them out, because they are the most comfortable chair for a blind chair. Adjustable in the legs, so they'll go on uneven height or an uneven ground real good. They've got wide little paddles on the feet, so they won't sink into the mud so much. I mean, they're going to sink in the mud a little bit, but it keeps them from sinking in like a normal chair would.
Comes with a back.
Yeah, you get
it's a tripod seat, and if you ever had a tripod seat, when you sit in it, that bar that goes between your legs, what happens is that tripod seat collapses, and for us, it gets kind of uncomfortable. Well, these trauma chairs, in the center of it is a hub. It's a locking hub that keeps the arms out, so it's a steady platform. So you never have to worry about that center bar coming back and make it an uncomfortable chair.
They can't see the chair, so why don't you stand up and just hold it up for a second, kind of show.
So
you can see right over there. There you go.
This locking bracket right here it'll spin, and then these arms will fold up, and then these legs will fold down. This is what keeps it steady, and because of that, it just makes this chair completely comfortable. As you see, mine's all completely dirty because mine's been in the duck blind. It'll be back in the blind tomorrow. But
and it swivels. So
yeah, it swivels. It's quiet. If you're a big guy like me, it can handle the weight. Some chairs, I've had some other high-end chairs. If you just lean back, you start hearing it creak. You don't have to worry about this. They're weighted to like 305 pounds, which is great. Because with all my waders and all my other stuff, I'm being a big guy. It tends to get a little heavy for some of these weaker chairs. But
all right, I'm going to have Errol talk a little bit about duck season now, and maybe give you some tips. And then after that, we're going to be having Scott come over and give you some ideas, so you can tell your wife to just come watch the video and tell her what part it was on, and she can tell you, or you can come in. She can actually just come and see Scott and say, "Hey, I want that thing that was on the YouTube video with Red Dirt Roots Outdoors TV."
So one thing I want to talk about before I get into early season duck hunting, I found this out a few weeks ago when I was out crane hunting up in Enid, Oklahoma, with a really good friend of mine. He's a guide up there. He took us on a crane hunt, me and a couple buddies, and I saw it last Sunday. I saw it again, and it really kind of made me think, and it kind of threw me back a little bit finding out this information. So there's a law here in Oklahoma that if you go, especially if you go to a guide, an outfitter, a guide, lodge, whatever you want to go to, and they ask if you have a game hauler, that you bring it, and they're going to hand you a tag, right? It's going to be a yellow tag. You have to put your name on it, your address, the date, and then the county. And then what that is that is called your harvest tag. That has to be tied onto your lanyard. So what that does is, so as you shoot, so you have 9 guys that are blind, or how many people in the blind, you shoot, the old adage was, you just put them in a pile, and at the end of the hunt, you just, okay, we need to shoot XYZ number of ducks. We shoot that XYZ number of ducks, and then we split them up between the people. Well, it's a 25-year-old law that Oklahoma hasn't enforced till this year. So they're basically trying to stop party hunting, which is a party shoot, which is having 9 or 10 or 5 or whatever guys should sit in a blind and shoot everybody's limit all in one shot. That's called a party hunt. So they're going to make you tag. So as you shoot birds, they're going to start spreading them across the line, so everybody has an equal amount of birds. Okay. So one thing that I've done, again, we're not sponsored by these people. They've never endorsed us. They've never given us free products. They've never done anything with them, but they're a great company, and they're here in Oklahoma. It's called Carcass Tag. Go to carcasstag.com, fill out the info. You can pick the front of it. It can be any color you want, design, whatever, they have it. Then on the back, if you have the Oklahoma hunting app, the Go Outdoor Oklahoma hunting app, you give them your customer ID number. And what they do is they put the QRS code on the back that shows up on your license. They put that on the card with your information. So then all you have to do is you have to put the date, the time, and then the county. So if anything happens, game warden shows up, they scan that card and it pulls your license and all your tags up. So now you're legal. And then once you're done hunting, you just take an alcohol swab and you take off the permanent marker, and that tag is ready to go again. So I highly recommend doing that. Of course, you can use the tag for deer, turkey, whatever you need to tag, but you can also use it for waterfowl. So again, we have no relationship with them whatsoever, but it's a great tag. It's reusable. You can leave it on your lanyard. I have several of them. I leave them in my blind bag. I have some in my coyote bag and turkey bag. I have them everywhere. So go check them out. It's a great product to have. It'll keep you out of trouble with the game wardens and police and state and park police and all that stuff. So go ahead and just check them out and tell me what you think about them. So let's talk about ducks. This is what I live for the season. When the season comes, I'm waiting for November so I can start duck hunting. So this year has been different because they changed the year. We started late to kind of get more into the migration pattern, and they cut down our split to 5 days. So it's literally a Monday through Friday, and then so you can hunt both those weekends on the ends. So it's a shorter split, but it still makes it a little longer season. We just literally shifted it over. So right now, what I've been seeing going out hunting is early season shy birds. So one of the things that we're going to be dealing with right now in duck season is dealing with residential birds. We really haven't got a whole big push of new birds in. Yes, there's a lot of birds in Oklahoma. I've seen lots and lots of birds here. Problem is getting them in land. They're call shy. They're decoy shy. There's a million and one things. They're ducks. There are a million and one things that you can do. But here's a couple quick things that you can do just to help hopefully make your hunt a little better. I'm not going to say it's going to work 100% because I do this stuff and some days I don't have good days. So that's just another one. That's just duck hunting. But being out with my buddies and hunting and being in the outdoors, that's just a great day in itself anyways. So first thing you gotta do is get a good hide. If you're on public land and you're just trying to do a makeshift blind, brush yourself in very, very well. Make sure that you are covered and you're hidden. Another part of the hide is wear a hat. I'm not a real big camo guy. I don't wear the face paint. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
Because you can't see his face for all that.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Me personally, I just don't use it. I haven't used it in 20 years. I probably won't plan on using it. But is there a place for it? Yes.
You don't do the cool designs?
No, I don't even no. But is there a place for it? Yes. Is there a certain color of skin to probably use it? Sure. I don't know. But if you feel comfortable using it and that's what you think is going to help, then by all means, use it. I'm never going to tell anybody not to use a product.
I've actually never used the camo paint because I have allergies and most of them bother me.
Yeah.
The itch and stuff. But I will tell you, if you are facing the sun and that you there's just no way around it. If you're a lot of times you're hunting public land, you don't have an option. You know, you end up in a certain spot. And maybe the sun's hitting your face and you feel like you need. I actually carry a little lighter and a wine bottle cork. And what we do is we burn it and then just wipe a little bit on it. That stuff comes right off real easy. Yep. Make sure it's not a synthetic cork because that won't work. It's got to be an actual cork, wine bottle cork. That stuff works good, and I use it whenever if I'm deer hunting and I want to. It's actually carbon, so it's going to help with scent control. So, but that's a neat. You know, they you don't have to buy anything. You just find you carry a lighter around and a cork. I have one cork that's lasted a couple of years now, and so that's just a tip. We'll show you that. I actually have a video of us doing that one time.
So that's the hide. So the next thing now is your decoys. The best thing for your decoys is at the end of the season, make sure you wash and clean your decoys. And make sure they got fresh paint on it if you paint them. If not, you go buy new decoys. And by all means, I'm not saying go buy decoys every year. I'll never say that. I'm a big component of running what you brung. Okay? So if you got them, use them. I don't care if you use the most expensive decoy, you use the cheapest decoy. Use decoys. Decoys work. Okay? Put them out there, make them look like ducks. Make them look like they want to be there, like they're comfortable. A lot of motion, especially on calm days or really low winds, like you get a 2-mile-an-hour wind and it's just kind of the water's glass. You want to make that area move. So you want to use, and your best thing, if you don't have a whole lot of cash, the best thing to do, jerk rig. Go to Academy. Here's a whole secret that we use. Everybody's going to tell you to go get the Rig 'em Right $40, $50 jerk rig. Go to Academy, spend like $10. Go get that jerk rig. It's the exact same thing as the Rig 'em Right one. We use it. It's great. We've been using it for 4 or 5 years now, and the thing's awesome. We've killed tons of ducks over them. It works. That will add complete motion in your spread than anything. So once you have your decoys out, got that motion in there, that's going to help because now they see that motion that's looking away from you. And then here's the big thing is calling. So right now, a lot of ducks are call shy. So what I've been doing, one of the tricks that I do is I call to get their attention and turn them to come look at our spread. And then at that point, I stop calling. And I just let ducks be ducks and see where we go from there. I
film a lot of people doing waterfowl hunting, and I can tell you I've seen a lot of people scare away ducks. The best thing you can do is just quit calling.
Yep.
You know, you got decoys out there, call to get their attention, and then shut up. And especially when they're almost landing. I've seen people having birds coming in, they got to call it a little bit more because they're an expert caller, and they scare them away. So best thing you can do, especially like if you're like me and not a good caller, just don't call. You know,
and
just
sometimes
count on the decoy. Be where the ducks want to be in the first place, and then get you a few decoys, and then call a little bit. Call best if you're not any good like me. Call when there's no ducks around. Practice for a little bit. So you see some ducks, shut up.
And then all you really need to do if you want to get, and you're not a real good duck caller, if you can get a quack down, if you can be a good just single note quack, just to get their attention, you'll kill ducks.
And another call that's really good, really useful for people who can't call, and you've brought your kid with you, and they want to call. They have these little duck feeder calls that you shake, makes a feeder call, does a better feeder call than what I can do on my duck call, and that gives the kids something to do, and those usually don't scare birds away, so
It doesn't.
it gives the kids something to do. Or if you got a hunter that's with you and can't call, instead of being rude and say, hey, don't call, say, hey, I really need you to do this feeder call, and hand him that.
So we have one, and our tradition is every time we get a new hunter in our group that goes out with us, we actually have one that's been passed down from new hunter to new hunter to new hunter.
Yeah.
So they're like brand new into hunting. They're like, here you go.
It's a great thing for kids, especially because
passed down. So
my little girl always wanted to do something, when I took her hunting, and so that was a great thing. You hand it to her, and she could do that, and that way she's not scared away any birds. But yeah, and make them feel like it's an important thing, man. It makes ducks real comfortable when they hear that little feeder cackle there, and so
true
feeder chatter, and
so
it's not very loud. It's quiet enough. And
here's another trick. Okay, here's a trick that I use, and I'm probably going to catch some flack for this. So I'm going to apologize now, Perry, for this. Is I typically don't do like the J hook or like an umbrella or like a W or like a V, like the flying V thing, and then the reverse bell or all these weird pattern stuff. I just don't do that. I make ducks look like ducks. Now, will I put a string or a few ducks here to cut off a passageway so I don't want them to go over there? Yeah. Also, what I'll do is, I have a luxury of having a boat. I'll literally go put the boat over there, and I will put the boat so they can see it, and they don't want to go over there. So I'll actually use my boat as a blocker, and then we'll just go make a hide somewhere on the bank. So I'll use the boat as a blocker, so they don't want to go over there, and so they stay over here. Or you just take a couple of 3 or 4 decoys and just put them across, make them look like ducks, put them across there, and I'll stop them from going over there and keep them where you want them. But make them look like ducks. That's all you got to do, and that kills more ducks than trying to do the double wishbone, whatever. Just make them look like ducks.
And if you don't know what to put them out as, go by and there's enough ponds around, like in the city and stuff.
Check them out.
As you drive by every one of them, look over and see what the ducks are doing. See where they want to go to. If it's a pond that you're going to get to hunt, and if you get a chance to go by it, look and see what the ducks are there when you're not able to hunt. Just see if you get a chance to drive by, see where the ducks are at, see what they're looking like. Are they in these reeds?
Yep.
Or see where they're at. And then when you set up your decoys, make them look like you said, real ducks.
That's what I do. And I use mixed bags. I don't use just mallards. I don't use just gadwalls. I don't use just pintails. I do a mixed bag and put them all together, and I put them out there and make them look like ducks. I've heard people are like, okay, well, I put all the pintails over here because they like to hang out on the fringe over here, and then I put the wood because they hang out over here. Ducks hang out with ducks. Dabble ducks hang out with dabble ducks. Diver ducks hang out with diver ducks. Yes, there's some bleed overs like ringnecks, and yes, some redheads and canvasbacks will kind of cross over because they're lost and they just want to hang out. So you'll get those. And then geese will always be on the fringe. So if you have geese floaters, and geese are a really great confidence decoy, plus it helps pull geese in. So put geese on the fringe, helps you pull in geese. It's a bigger decoy, you can see it. So on cloudy days,
you left out coots.
So in coots, so I'll tell you those coot stories for another episode.
We'll do that next time because we need to get Scott in here in just a second.
Yeah, but use coots, use that stuff. Cloudy days, a real trick that we use. My buddies are gonna be mad that I'm telling the secret of, but we use black ducks. Black ducks are not in the central flyway. They're more out east, but we use them. And the reason for it is on cloudy days, that is a big black blob on the water, and ducks see that. So they're like, that's a duck. So guess what? They want to go and at least check it out and see what it is. and that brings them in. Now they see everything else. Now we're playing. So don't be afraid to experiment with like and we don't put like a dozen of them. We put up like 4 or 5. Put them out there. But mixed bags, good hide, shy calling right now, just to call, get their attention. Once they start coming over, giving you a look, let ducks be ducks. And just get a good hide. And just do that. By all means, if you have questions or comments about stuff, you have something to ask, hit us up on our Facebook page, hit us up on our YouTube page. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Sorry if I made some people mad, but that's what I do. But I kill a lot of ducks. So with that, that's it. That's our early season stuff right there. So,
well, like I said, we're out here in El Reno at Auto FX, and we're gonna bring Scott over here. I'm just gonna let you have my chair here, Scott.
Your chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
My chair. Look, try out this Thomas chair. It may be a product you want to start carrying in the store here.
I'm gonna tell you, you don't like this chair.
Yeah.
Scott, you don't like this chair. It's comfy.
Try this out. Oh yeah. I heard you talking earlier about how far you could lean back.
Yeah.
And you don't, a lot of them you do, you feel uncomfortable. You feel like you're gonna
You're gonna
tilt
tip.
over, but yeah, no,
It's comfy.
That's great. Huh?
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
I'm like a big guy. So,
Yeah.
So and it's comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good chair.
Oh, that's great.
So we're here at your shop.
Yeah, yeah.
You have another location in Yukon,
Yes,
correct?
I do. Yeah. We've been here 31 years in El Reno and 20 some odd years in Yukon. And this started out as a hobby. I had no idea.
That's how my gunsmith started
There
out.
you go. Yeah, I understand.
So what do you guys, so I know it's Auto FX.
Mhm.
Effects for autos.
It saved me on signage. That's the thing. It's short for EFFDCTS, and I'm always trying to pinch pennies. So I thought,
I hear you.
that saved me a couple $100 on a sign.
So Auto Effects, got it. Effects for autos.
Sure.
What is it?
Pretty much anything aftermarket in the automotive world. We do, of course, a lot of window tinting. I started out as a tinting, and still do to this day. And Jared and Ryan, who've been with me for 20 years, there's my partners over here, wonderful guys. But of course, wheels, tires, toolboxes, anything with trailers. We probably do more B&W hitches in Oklahoma than the other dealer with both our stores. Of course, car audio, anything video. But there's a lot of things that are common that people order online, and WeatherTech is one of those things. And if you'll check WeatherTech and go to our website, we actually have a vehicle builder that you can go on our website and put the vehicle that you want. It shows what it's going to look like on your vehicle before you actually have to go out and buy it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really nice. We used to, you had to search around on Instagram and other places to find a picture of what you thought it was going to look like.
Right,
and now you can just go to our website, plug it in, and it's automatic. But this time of the year, with especially going out, going hunting, trailer hitches, B&W adjustable ball mount hitches are a wonderful product. Everything in their product line is top notch. You don't find a better company than B&W. Of course, WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech's even making bed liners now too. They've got some really cool products. One of the best things last year that was so hard to find, kind of like Yeti, 10 years ago,
Right.
was that cup foam. And that, that was such we run out. Everybody ran out. Even Amazon ran out before Christmas. Toolboxes, we have dog boxes, high lift jacks. Of course, we do leveling kits, lift kits.
One thing I'm going to jump in here and
Yes.
tell you about. I know you haven't been over here yet. The one thing that's really different about this place is when you walk back in the shop, they don't just install stuff. He has a full fabrication shop back there.
Oh, I can only
If
imagine.
you have something you want custom built, you should. We've got some videos back about things they built for boats and some really fancy boats with some cool lighting, some audio stuff. I mean, they build some stuff that gets sound systems into places or speakers into places that you wouldn't think it was humanly possible.
We learned a long time ago that you need to be vertically integrated. I don't have time to go search for a bracket that I need. So Ryan Carter, who runs all our fabrication stuff and is one of my partners over here. We have CNC laser or plasma cutting. We have vertical mill, horizontal mill, sheet break. We built parts for Halliburton. We do some, Ryan does some quick prototyping. Ryan built a lot of the guys that run the Street Outlaws. John Andrade, who runs the Cuddy, who used to be on the first season,
Right.
started working with me years ago. And of course, John's his dad, Big John, is one of the top-notch guys in street racing. And Little John is too, for that matter. But Ryan builds a lot of if they blow an intake or if they run a head, Ryan Carter is the guy that fixes it for them. So we do anything from, other than painting. We don't paint any parts, but we do powder coating. We do hydro dipping. We do all those things that, you would have to go outsource to somebody else. So you come here and you want your windows tinted, we could tint, we could put and this is not something that you're going to have some kid who's just learning working on your vehicle. Ryan has been here for 20 plus years. Jared is one of our tenor. He's been here for 22. Of course, I've been here for 31. But you're not going to get somebody that doesn't know what they're doing working on your vehicle. Nice. You're going to get three guys. We all run the shop. We all do everything from answering the phones to writing up tickets to the installations. When you come in and talk to somebody here, you're going to get the guy that actually is going to be installing it on your vehicle. Nice. And that's nice to know. We fix more death wobble Fords than you can shake a stick at, because we understand them. We understand, we all have college degrees in engineering or other things, but we work at a car audio shop or a stereo shop or a tin shop or what have you, but we all are very, very technical related guys, and we're the people that are actually going to do the work. From wiring, we do, of course, strobe lights, warning lights. We build cop cars. We don't do ambulances or fire trucks, but our Yukon store has done built police vehicles from New York to California. One thing I was going to say before I go, if they're going to kick me out of this chair, I don't know.
I told you it's comfortable.
We just went through this ice storm, and everybody was looking for generators, and they were hard to find. And if you go to Lowe's, a Generac 3,000 watt generator is $8.99. If you come here, we have limited numbers, but I think our sale goes through the end of November. If you come here and mention that you saw it on Red Dirt Roots TV, you can get a 3,000 watt generator, Generac. These are not seconds or stuff that fell off the truck. These are brand new units, but you can buy one. If you mention that you saw it, you can buy it for $5.99. Amazon has them for $7.99 right now. Everybody is $8.99, but you have to mention that you saw it on Red Dirt Roots TV.
That's a deal.
And you can get it for $5.99. Like I said, we've got a couple of thousand of them. I think of course they burned through a bunch of those, and I think the sale ends on the end of November. But we have them at $8.99 every day. But you can buy it for $5.99 if you mention that you saw it on Red Dirt Roots TV.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it, Scott.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Great
Thank you.
shop.
Be sure and check with them, though. They have all kinds of cool things for Christmas gifts. You probably do gift certificates.
We have gift certificates, of course, and that's a big popular one for Christmas is a gift certificate, but a lot of that is gift certificates for window tinting. It's it's $100 for a pair of roll-ups, ceramic, lifetime warranty, or hybrid metallic films. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how dark you want it, how light you want it. It's all the same price. There's no hidden cost. But that's a real good one for Christmas. everybody, you know, that's the first thing that people do is tint the front two doors. And they ask me, so I wonder, you know, people ask why. I wonder why your Chevrolet tints the back half of these. Why don't they do the fronts? I said, well, that's so my kids can go to college. You know, if they tinted all of it, then I wouldn't have a job.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Well, that's going to wrap up our first YouTube live. We're going to be doing these on a more frequent basis. If you'd like something in particular that you'd like us to talk about, we've got some special guests we're going to be having at different times, talking about different things. And then we're going to be sharing some behind the scenes footage and things like that, things we can't really show on TV. I don't know if you saw the episode earlier this year where we went noodling with Jason.
Oh,
We were noodling with the hookah machine. Art he nearly drowned. He sucked in a couple of lungs full of water. And it was funny, but I couldn't show all of it on there because there was a lot of language involved. And Jason's remedy for it was throw him a couple of beers. You know, I'm just dying laughing. And, I mean, I can't use this on TV, but it was pretty funny because Art's coughing up water and drinking a beer. And he was about an hour and a half. He was ready to go again. So anyway, we're going to show some behind the scenes things like that. Some stuff we can't put on TV and
but let us know what you want to hear about, talk about. If you have questions, comments, concerns, let us know. We'll be more than happy to
concerns.
I don't know what you're concerned about, but
You're
let us
watching
know.
your words. We're not real concerned.
But let us know. We were happy to answer them.
We appreciate you watching, and be sure to check out the show. We'll be publishing the times that we're going to do these, and like I said, we have some guests that we're going to be having on different times, and be sure and keep up with us. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Thanks, guys. These chairs are comfortable, aren't they?